Yeah, I would say like the top 10 cities in Sweden definitely have office products that would attract international capital. But I would rather go for the resi sector or the retail sector. The retail sector, I mean, that's a pretty expensive sector in Sweden today, I would say, especially if you compare to Finland. Then you could also think about e-commerce. What effect will that have, and what effect has it had already? And then my belief is that it will affect the small to mid-sized towns and cities less than the urban or the metropolitan areas. So that's also something that I would.
Okay, good.
I think what's important as an investor you have to understand is Sweden is a really, really big country. I mean, you cannot on one day drive from the south to the north of Sweden. And there's very important cities up north. Luleå, for example, is an important city in Sweden. But I mean, to go from here, you probably have to take 1 or 2 planes at least to get to Luleå. It will take you the whole day. Flying into Stockholm, then changing, and then flying from Stockholm to Luleå. It's a very big country. So that's why the top 10 cities, because they're located in different areas, will have its own microeconomy, meaning you do need and you have good retail opportunities to invest there. You do have offices, good areas of offices to invest there, because it is a microcosmos. Because it's not something you can just drive from Luleå to Stockholm. Forget about it. It's not something you do. And everybody else coming from the countryside will come and shop in Luleå. That's the only place you can shop. You have areas in Sweden where people are actually going Friday evening to go to this big area where they can shop, and then they will camp outside on the parking lot and have a little party on Saturday evening and keep on shopping on Sunday and then go home. because
the journey is so long to go there.
Exactly. And that's the thing, and that's what you need to know. In Denmark, if you drive more than 3 hours, you're outside of the border. Or in the water at least. So it's just very different, and so the top 10 cities in Sweden are much more important to and macrocosmoses to Sweden than it is in Denmark. The top 10 cities in Denmark I wouldn't recommend. I would probably recommend the top 4, and then I would still say depending on what you want to invest in. Because you can actually live in the third largest city in Denmark and then still work in Copenhagen, because you get into the train, you sit for an hour, you can work in the train, there's Wi-Fi, there's everywhere in the Nordics, and then you land in the middle of Copenhagen, you go to work and the other way around. You can't do that in the same way from Luleå to...
Not exactly from Luleå.
No.
Maybe from this...
from Sundsvall you can't either.
No.
It's the same thing. But anyway, so it's important, and that's why this train is going to be very important, but the top 10 cities are very important and their own microcosmos. So it's the same thing in Finland. It's also a very, very long country. Norway, long country. It goes all the way over to Russia, actually. It has border to Russia all the way up. So there's a lot of things that you need to sit down and learn about the Nordics before you start investing. But I will say the resi aspect is very important. None of the big cities in the Nordics have enough resi. They all want more resi. They are in dire need of residential apartments.